Hey everybody, it's Christina. Happy Friday. Hope you've all had a great week. Today, for my last project I'll be doing with you guys, we're going to be making mason jar lanterns. So what you need is a mason jar, of course. Some different paints that you want to use. I am using acrylic paint. I am using the colors white, yellow, purple, and black. You also need a paintbrush or two, a glass of water, not for drinking, for putting your paintbrush in to get the paint off, some glass rocks, and last but not least, the most important piece, you need fairy lights as well as a power source. For mine, I am just using a cube adapter, and depending on what fairy lights you have, some already come with one. I unfortunately didn't have one, so I had to improvise, but I found one. So yeah, and what I would do is really you could be as creative as you want with this. I am just gonna paint, and I'll show you guys what to do. So I have my handy dandy little paint tray. So what I would start out doing is just putting the colors that you want. And again, you could use really any color that you want. And when you put it out, it doesn't have to be in any particular order either, because painting, really, you could be as messy as you want, which is totally fine. Okay, so once you get your colors all set up, also what you want to do too is have something underneath in case the paint spills. And also when you're painting, I would just put a thin layer on, kind of like what I'm doing right here. Because if you put too much, it may not, stick as well, or it might. But again, I would do just a light layer, and if you have to go back layer and do a second coat, that's totally fine as well. And again, really any design that you want to do on your jar is totally fine. You don't even have to do a design, you could just paint whatever you want, really. Because with painting, there is really no right or wrong way. So I'm just kind of going around. Also, if it's easier, if you want to do a design on it, you could also take a permanent marker and do it that way. Also, I would recommend having some paper towels so that when you dab your paintbrush, it's easier to come off. All right, let's see what we got here. Also, that's why I said to have a couple paintbrushes, because sometimes the colors don't come off. When you dip it in the water. Yeah, one thing I did forget to mention is that if you have a smaller mason jar, that's fine. I think this is a pretty standard size. I'm not exactly sure. So 20 ounces is the size that I'm using for mine. Also, if you do happen to use a bigger one, you can certainly put more rocks in there. Also a bigger strand of lights. So as you can see, it's starting to come along quite well. And again, if you want to go back over later and do a second coat of paint, you're absolutely welcome to. So next I'm going to do the purple. I almost feel like the painter Bob Ross here, except the fact that I don't have the hair, as you can see, and I'm not painting happy little trees. But if you want to paint some happy little trees on here, you are more than welcome to do that. Also, it's okay while you're painting if the colors happen to run into each other a little bit, that's totally fine. It happens to me all the time. Okay, and then we're gonna get our last color on there. Also, when you're painting like I am, I recommend holding from the top. Just be careful that you don't drop it, because that would not be good. And we're gonna put a little bit more paint. Just so we can get all the way around here. And I think that looks pretty good. So then the next thing that you want to do, apparently I touched the side, so I'm just going to do a little touch up. There we go. Okay, so the next thing that you want to do is you want to take your glass rocks and just kind of gently put them in there. Apparently I'm not being very gentle because it's also very loud. And you could put as many or as little as you want in there. And the last step that you want to do is you want to take your lights, and I would kind of unravel them if they're all tangled up. And you want to find the end, which apparently I'm having a very difficult time doing right now. And you kind of want to just put it in there. It's a very long strand, as you can see. I'm kind of just, pushing down in there. That's okay if you are sticking out. That's totally fine. And then another thing you could do if you want is you could put more, here, I'll move it over so you guys can see, just put more of the rocks in there. And what that does is that helps the lights reflect off the jar. And there you go. So you have a little mason jar lantern. And I hope you guys have a good weekend. And it's been really fun doing these projects with you guys for the past few months. So have a good summer, all of you, and we'll see you in the fall. Take care. Bye.